Hello, welcome to the Weather Hazard Briefing presented by National Weather Service Pocatello for Thursday, October 26th. Here's what you'll see in this presentation. The low and associated cold front moved through overnight. This is leaving behind some light snow and windy to very windy conditions, especially for the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley and some of the uh, side valleys to the south. Warnings and advisories are still in effect, all in the mountains and highlands for snow, and then the strong westerly wind has meant again the issuance of wind and lake wind advisories for some locations. The light rain and snow showers will linger into Friday, mainly in the northern half of central and eastern Idaho, and it will stay chilly. Lows will bottom out in the teens, highs in the mid 40s, or colder for the Snake River Plain elevations, and single digits to below zero for alpine basins. And high pressure returns Sunday, and that will help start a warming trend. So let's look at what's happening here, especially in the first day in detail. First, here's the overnight satellite image. You can see the cold front exiting here, this line of clouds, and there's a second line in here. They'll be pushing through and continues to generate some. It's going to be pretty light precipitation today compared to what happened overnight and yesterday. So first of all, on the left, you see wind advisories issued for today. So for the eastern Magic Valley, that's basically American Falls down to Burley and then down through Oakley, that is a wind advisory, which means winds in excess of 30 miles an hour with a gust to 40 or more. And then over the American Falls Reservoir, there's a lake wind advisory. Lake wind advisories only need 20 miles an hour sustained winds in order to generate hazardous waves on that reservoir. On the right, you see the winter weather highlights issued. You can see winter storm warnings, quite a few on the other side of the divide, but it does include some areas on this side of the divide with Island Park area, mostly Fremont County, eastern Clark, and even a part of Teton County. That will be wrapping up around 6 p.m. tonight. Same with this this snow advisory, down here. The snow will end up wrapping up, and I would say the bulk of it has already fallen here. And the same over here on the western side, or northern end, I should say, of our county warning area. We are looking at this should all end by noon. So what's really left over is just some light precipitation, maybe as much as 2 inches, depending on elevation and where exactly you are located in this area. All right, so the weather risk outlook, it all wraps up both the wind advisories and the winter weather advisories all end by 6 p.m. tonight. Some of them even sooner. After that, on Friday, you can see there's a chance of some snow showers lingering and some afternoon snow showers. You can see it's mostly in the northern half, again, the eastern highlands, which includes Island Park down to Victor, and then the Lost River, Wood River, Sawtooth, and Lemhi County region. That's all in the central Idaho Mountains. And then the north end of the Snake River Plain. And on Saturday, we're looking at some AM snow showers, maybe in the South Hills and Southeast Highlands. But again, it's just a slight chance. And then a slight chance in those same northern areas, and maybe a chance in the Eastern Highlands. That'll be the last place it sort of clears out on Saturday. You can see sunny on Sunday, sunny and cold as the high pressure moves in and dominates the rest of the weather through Monday. So low temperatures this morning, you can see it did get to around freezing down in the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley. And so there has been snow reported. May not amount to much, but it could be as much as half an inch, say. Meanwhile, obviously behind it, we're in the cold air mass that is moving in, pretty cold temperatures with some cloud cover continuing during the morning hours, so it didn't quite get bone-chilling cold yet. And then the same thing here to the southeast of the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley. Again, very similar temperatures, again, mostly due to the cloud cover. So here you have it. There might be a rain-snow mix in the very extreme southeast corner of our forecast area, but it's mostly snow thanks to the cold temperatures. So snowfall amounts this morning, you can see this is through noon, so 6 a.m. to noon. We are looking at still some pretty good accumulations, again, up to 2 inches in the Central Idaho Mountains, and then still up to 4 to 6 inches in some places along the Wyoming border. This afternoon, as things start to warm, though, you can see it really breaks off here, basically down to flurries for the Central Idaho Mountains and just light remainder snow, with the snow level going up slightly, but not very much as the cold air continues to float in. And for the evening, again, just flurries, and now it's basically limited to our eastern highlands. And then tonight, late night hours, there's just a handful up here in the Island Park area. The other thing to watch out for is winds, and normally we would see the strongest winds in the afternoon, but not so when you have a cold front busting through. So look at these really strong winds, especially down areas south of Burley and south of Minidoka in this area, and some fairly strong winds, or moderate winds, I guess you could say, or windy conditions in the northern end and up here even in the northern or upper Snake River Plain and lower Snake River Plain. It's still fairly windy, and you can see areas here. That's where our lake wind advisory is, with winds in excess of 35 to 40 miles an hour this morning. This afternoon, it continues, and these are peak wind gusts, by the way. And then by this evening, you can see it all tails off. Gusts barely getting into the mid-20s. And then by after midnight, you can see it's down considerably with just some leftover gusty winds in the Idaho Falls and Rexburg area. Well, due to temperatures for today, we are looking at it being much colder than it was yesterday. Temperatures struggling to get to around 40 degrees in the heavily populated areas. And then overnight tonight, you can see the skies do clear over Central Idaho Mountains. You can see Stanley down to single digits, getting much colder than it's been in the Snake River Plain, and teens and 20s here in the eastern and southern highlands. And that's mostly because it'll be slow to clear tonight. All right, and then here on Friday, you can see just to the north some limited areas of snowfall. Otherwise, it'll be fairly dry. Here you can see Friday morning. That's the only time we really are expecting much. Friday afternoon, again, sort of restarts up here in the Central Idaho Mountains. But again, not much. As you can see, it's all below an inch. And Friday evening does expand a little bit further south. And then Saturday, late night hours, it continues again. But none of this should be reaching anywhere near any sort of major snowfall accumulation. High temperatures on Friday, you can see pretty chilly up here in the Central Idaho Mountains, struggling to get to 30, and still lower to middle 40s for the Snake River Plain in those lower elevations. And then overnight Saturday or Friday night, +2 in Stanley, so the trend is to be cooler. A lot more teens in the Snake River Plain and eastern and southern highlands. And finally here on Saturday, you can see it really does start to wrap up. There's maybe a limited threat of some light snow along the Wyoming border, but it's not much, as you can see here. And then high temperature on Saturday continues a cooling trend. No one over 40 degrees at all in our forecast area. Highest temperature you can see there is 39. And then overnight lows Saturday night, Sunday morning, look at Stanley, below zeros. Shallows, single digits. Widespread single digits in the upper Snake Highlands. A lot of teens down close single digits for places near Blackfoot and INL. And then on Sunday, you can see the warming trend starts as high pressure moves in and we get some sunshine. We're back to around 40. And then Sunday night, you can see we are a little bit warmer thanks to the warmer end to Sunday afternoon. But still a lot of teens and even Stanley single digits and maybe even some below zero temperatures in places like Copper Basin. That's all I have. If you have any further questions, you can always check out the weather yourself at this email address here, weather.gov/Pocatello. Or you can contact us at this telephone number with your questions. Any comments on the briefing, you can email us at pocatello.weather@noaa.gov. Thanks for watching.